The first generation of Nissan Altima appeared in 1992 for the model year of 1993, and it replaced Nissan Stanza that has its roots spread out all the way to 1973. Before we mention other generations, it is worth mentioning that Nissan Altima was sold in many countries all over the world, and it was also known under different names in different markets. But this presentation will focus on Nissan Altima's fourth generation available in the United States. Take a look at the menu to familiarize yourself with the chapters and content that will be discussed during this review. So the first generation of Nissan Altima was manufactured for 5 years from 1992 until 1997. Then the second generation came and it lasted for 4 years from 1997 until 2001. In August of 2001, the third generation came and it was manufactured for 5 years. And this is another third generation Altima, just in a different trim and color. Then finally in 2006 came the star of this review, the fourth generation Nissan Altima, and it hanged around for 6 years until 2012. Then alongside the fourth generation, the coupe version of Nissan Altima was introduced. It had a shorter wheelbase, shorter length, and shorter height, but it retained the same width. The coupe was available from 2007 until 2013. And this picture shows how the Altima Coupe stacks up against the Altima Sedan in terms of dimensions. The coupe featured the same gasoline engine options as the sedan did. Finally, in 2012, the fifth generation was introduced and it stayed around for 6 years until 2018. However, the fifth generation for the model year of 2016 received a facelift where its appearance changed somewhat and it received new features. And the most current generation, as of May 5th, 2024, which is when this review was released, was the sixth generation. And here you have a fifth generation of Nissan Altima on the right and a fifth generation of Nissan Altima after the facelift on the left. This photo shows a difference between the facelifted fifth generation Altima on the left compared to its successor, the sixth generation Altima on the right. Take a look at the fourth generation mid-sized Altima parked right next to the premium version of Nissan's mid-sized sedan, the seventh generation Nissan Maxima. The Maxima featured more advanced features and technology, including upscale interior materials and luxury-oriented options with better performance. Nissan Maxima was discontinued in 2023 after 41 years of production. But let's get back to the fourth generation, as this presentation is dedicated to it. It all started in September of 2006, when the fourth generation was introduced for the first time for the model year of 2007. The model in this presentation is from the year of 2011, and the sales figures from that year show that Nissan sold 268,981 Altimas in the United States, what placed it on the fourth place as best-selling vehicle of 2011, right behind Toyota Camry. The following table shows how 2011 Nissan Altima stacks up in terms of price compared to other mid-size sedans. This table includes the lowest and the highest MSRP prices available for each model in its lineup. This table also includes lowest and highest horsepower available with each vehicle lineup. Per Cars.com, 2011 Nissan Altima also scored quite high in terms of reliability. As of February 14, 2024, there were 102 reviews on the website where 95% of drivers recommended this car. The vehicle presented during this review was a regular commuter car, was serviced regularly, And for the past 10 years of usage and with over 160,000 miles on it, it did not experience any issues. Per the report published on usnews.com, 2011 Nissan Altima took 7th spot in the ranking based on its score within the 2011 most affordable and reliable mid-size sedans category. The 2011 Nissan Altima held a score of 8.1 out of 10, which was based on evaluation of 108 pieces of research and data elements using various sources. Per this report, first and second places fell to Toyota Camry and Camry Hybrid. Third place went to Chevrolet Malibu, fourth to Honda Accord, fifth and sixth to Ford Fusion Hybrid and Ford Fusion, and seventh to Nissan Altima that tied with Buick Regal and Mazda 6, followed by other models. There were 18 cars tested in total. 2011 Nissan Altima was offered with 3 different power options: a 3.5-liter 6-cylinder engine, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, and 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid. 2 types of transmissions were also available, either a 6-speed manual or the automatic CVT transmission. CVT stands for Continuously Variable Transmission, and it was first introduced with the 4th generation Altima, replacing the traditional 5-speed automatic transmission. Also, all Nissan Altima engines use timing chain, not timing belt, thus eliminating the frequent, complicated, and pricey timing belt service. Let's now take a closer look at our 2011 Nissan Altima 2.5S 4-door sedan and its specifications. So the 4th generation Nissan Altima was manufactured from September 2006 until May 2012. Although there were different engines available, the 2.5S trim was supplied with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that provided 175 horsepower and 180 feet-pound of torque. It has continuously variable transmission, also known as CVT. It can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.8 seconds, and it is also reported to reach a top speed of 129 miles per hour. Well, let's check how the 0 to 60 acceleration holds up with the 2.5-liter Nissan Altima after 10 years. All of these tests were done with maximum safety in mind on a flat asphalt road with the traction control turned on, which slightly reduced the acceleration time but prevented a wheel spin, especially at takeoff. Its fuel tank can take 20 gallons of fuel, and the car can drive 23 miles per gallon in the city driving, 32 miles per gallon on highway, and about 27 miles in combined driving. If you measure the fuel consumption in liters per 100 kilometers, then it takes 10.2 liters per 100 kilometers in city driving, 7.3 liters on highway, and about 8.7 liters in combined driving. In extra-urban driving, so including all of the roads outside of town, but not quite the highways, and with speeds not exceeding 62 miles per hour, Nissan Altima 2.5S has a range anywhere from 480 to 575 miles on a single fuel tank. In the city driving, that range decreases to anywhere from 290 to 350 miles, and on a highway, for as long as the speeds don't exceed 87 miles per hour, the driving range is anywhere from 425 to 510 miles on a full fuel tank. In the combined driving, including the extra-urban driving, city and highway driving, the range is about 422 miles on a full fuel tank. The 2011 Nissan Altima 2.5S weighs 3,192 pounds. what also equals to 1,448 kilograms, where 60.8% of that weight sits at the front wheels and 39.2% sits at the rear wheels. The maximum weight that the vehicle is rated to carry is 1,087 pounds, what means that the gross vehicle weight rating is 4,279 pounds when fully loaded. Nissan Altima is also rated to tow a small braked trailer for up to 1,001 pounds. The fourth generation of Nissan Altima is 190.7 inches long, 70.7 inches wide, and it has a height of 58 inches. From 2007 until 2011 model year, Nissan Altima was also available as a hybrid. It was Nissan's first attempt at the hybrid design. However, the hybrid version was only available in 10 US states, including California, Oregon, Connecticut, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, and Vermont, and it was also available in Canada. Because the hybrid Altima did not meet the expected selling results, it was eventually discontinued in 2011. The hybrid version of Altima featured the same 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine as the standard version did, but because of its hybrid system, it outputted 198 horsepower compared to the regular 175 horsepower, and it had 199 feet-pounds of torque instead of the standard 180 feet-pounds. And that's due to the electric motor. It was also rated 33 miles per gallon in the city driving and also 33 miles per gallon on the highway. As for the V6 engine, the most distinguishable differences between the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder standard version and the 3.5-liter V6 were the acceleration times. The 3.5-liter V6 could get to the 60 miles per hour in 6.2 seconds. It could reach 200 kilometers per hour in 26.5 seconds, and it had a top speed of 147 miles per hour. In the year of 2008, all Altima models received ABS with electronic brake force distribution. Also, a new base model named 2.5 was introduced by Nissan that was more affordable but offered less features. Take a look at the list of some of the available features and options with the 4th generation Nissan Altima. In the year of 2009, for the model year of 2010, electronic stability control was added as a standard feature in all models. Previously, it was only available as an option and only on the V6 models. Also, the CVT transmission became standard and the manual transmission was dropped by the 2011 model year. The 4th generation Nissan Altima developed to include the stability control, traction control, 4-disc brakes, and 6 airbags on all trims as a standard safety feature. So this is how the 2011 Nissan Altima 2.5S looks like inside. So let's take a look bit by bit. Let's start from the door panel. So here's how you open the door, standard. Here's how you lock it, standard. Every car is the same today. Your mirror adjustment, turn it to the left and then wiggle
the joystick
as you wish.
Here you have 4 buttons to open and close the windows, where the driver's window can be opened and closed automatically with just a single push of a button.
Lock, unlock the doors. Lock the windows. Unlock the windows.
The car also has door lights that turn on when a door is opened to provide some visibility at night when stepping off the vehicle, and to warn other motorists that the door is opened should the car be on a side of a road.
So you turn the car on with the push button right here.
When you press the ignition switch button and you have your key fob with you, the car will let you switch to the accessory position and will let you access any electrical accessory, such as the radio, when the engine is not running. There is a battery saver feature in this car that will switch to off or lock position from the accessory position after 30 minutes, as long as the car is on park and all the doors are closed. If you hit the brake pedal and press the ignition switch button, the car will start. Press it again and the car shuts off. If for any reason you need to turn off the engine when the car is in motion, you can hit the ignition switch 3 times or keep it pressed for 2 seconds and this will shut off the engine. Don't mess with it unless you have to though.
Here is your traction control button. Press it to engage it, press it again to turn it off.
And of course your seatbelt notification
But
that
I don't have a seatbelt on.
The cruise control can only be set when the vehicle drives 25 to 89 miles per hour. To set it on, press the on-off button. This turns on the green indicator light on the dashboard. Next, accelerate the car to the speed you want to cruise with and then push the coast set switch down and release it. You can now remove your foot off the accelerator as the car will now cruise. To pass a vehicle, just accelerate and then release your foot off the accelerator, and then the car will get back to the preset speed and will continue on cruising. To add speed while you cruise, you can either push the accelerate resume switch up, or you can hit the accelerator pedal to the desired speed and then press the coast set switch down to save it. To slow down, push the coast set switch down to the desired speed, or tap the brake pedal to the desired speed and then press the coast set switch down to save it. If you need to stop your car and then you'd like to get back to your preset speed, just accelerate past 25 miles per hour and then push the accelerate resume switch up, and then the car will return to the last cruising speed. To turn the cruise control off, just push the cancel button or tap the brake pedal or press the on-off button. It's recommended not to use the cruise control in the hilly areas. This is your lights and turn signal lever. Turn the knob all the way to turn your headlights, front parking lights, tail lights, license plate light, and instrument panel lights. If you turn the knob one level up, the headlights would turn off and all other lights would stay on. Turn it one more level up and all of the lights turn off. Pull the lever toward you to turn the high beam on, pull it again to turn it off. Push the lever up or down for turn signals. Nissan Altima has super bright headlights. It uses HID bulbs. While driving on a country road at night and using the high beam, it really lights up the road and the beam reaches far ahead. They appear brighter than most of the cars from the time.
And here with this button there, see, if you press that button, you get the outside temperature of 94 degrees. It is hot today, it's true.
Keep pressing and then you will see
your range, how many more miles you have till empty, and this car currently at less than quarter of a gas tank has 73 miles left till empty.
when the computer detects that the remaining fuel can only carry the car for about 55 miles, a warning message will show on the display along with a small orange triangle on the dashboard letting you know that it's time to refuel now.
If you're looking at this icon in here, you can see the arrow on the left. That arrow on the left means that your fuel door is right on the left side of your vehicle, not on the right. There you go.
This is instant fuel economy mode that displays instant fuel economy in miles per gallon. So it shows you what is your MPG in any given moment depending on how hard you press the accelerator. This is the average speed mode, and it displays the average miles per gallon you are getting with your driving habits and the average speed in miles per hour since the last refueling or the last reset. This is the time and miles mode. It displays the time and miles driven since the last refueling or last reset.
Now besides that, you have some options that you can choose from. So maintenance, alerts, options, you can go there. Language units, you can go back. You can set your maintenance, you can take a look at alert, timer, right? Or you can go, you have some settings, you can go back. So you could play through and then discover a lot of interesting settings here. So back to my favorite, which is the MPG
meter,
which I am always trying to get as best as I can, so I pay as least as possible to drive my car, to drive this Nissan Altima. Here also you have this little knob right here. You can see you can select between your trip A and trip B, if you press and hold, it will reset those numbers for you. So I'm pressing it and holding, and see, it reset it. And now it counts at 0. And the trip B is still 104.48. And then I can count how many miles I drove through here. See that knob right here? If you turn it to the left, note how it changes the brightness of your dash. And on the information display here, you actually have a little knob, or little bar actually I should say, that shows you that brightness. This also includes probably those buttons here at the door as well, I would imagine so. You won't see it now because it's daylight, but you can see it in here right on the left. So there you have it. And interesting feature here is for the wiper
blades.
So you can turn it on, of course, as you wish, and then
you have 3 wiper blade speeds in here, but when you're on the first speed,
you can adjust with this knob in here how frequently you want them to go, right? So this is the most frequent one on the level number 1, and of course go all the way down, and they really go fast, right? But go on the first level, and then here you can just adjust
the frequency.
See, now they will wipe only one time every like 15 seconds or so, right? And here you turn it off.
You can also push the lever up for one windshield wiper operation, or pull it toward you for windshield washer function.
And here is a standard radio. You can turn it on right in here.
The display button allows you to see how much time the song was being played for, or how much time is remaining. Just keep pressing to change the information about the track that is currently playing from your CD. The 1 through 6 buttons allow you to preset your radio stations. The audio button allows you to change the bass, treble, and some other audio settings. The AM, FM, CD, and auxiliary buttons allow you to select your sound source, so you can choose what you want to listen to. But with the auxiliary, you have to plug in a compatible device through the auxiliary in port. The random repeat button allows you to select if you would like to listen to a random track from your CD, or if you would like to listen to the same track over and over again, or if you would just like to listen in a sequential order. The scan button will let you play each track for just 10 seconds throughout the CD. And the clock button will let you turn on or turn off the clock on the display. And of course the push power volume button is used to turn on or turn off your radio, and the silver ring surrounding it is used to control your volume. You also have the mute button, the CD eject button, the tune button to select the radio station that you would like to listen to, and you also have the seek track button to change the track that's currently playing off your CD. This is your CD slot where you pop them CDs in. This is the front passenger airbag status light. It has 3 major functions. It's somewhat tricky, so listen up. First function. If the passenger seat is occupied by a child or a small person, the status light illuminates to let you know that the airbag is off and it will not inflate or deploy in case of a crash, as rapidly deploying airbag can cause a serious injury or even death in case of a child. Second function. If the passenger seat is occupied by an adult, the status light comes off, letting you know that the airbag is on and it will inflate or deploy in your passenger's face in case of an accident. Good. And third function. If the passenger seat is empty, the status light stays off to let you know that the passenger airbag is off and it will not inflate or deploy in a crash. This is your on and off dial for a heater and air conditioner. Turn it to the right to increase the fan speed. This is air recirculation on-off button, and it's good for when you break some wind in your car and you want to hold your passengers hostage. These are your airflow control buttons. Hit the max AC button for a rapid cooling. This is your windshield defrost or defog button. This is your rear window defroster button. This is your AC on or off button, with the silver ring being the temperature control dial.
You can put your sunglasses up here. Here you can turn your lights if you need to. See, you have also ones here by the doors.
And this is a three-way function button. Set it to on position to have all the interior lights to turn on for the illuminated entry. Set it to door position to have the interior lights automatically turn on when any door is opened, or have it set to off. Even the base version has mirrors in its sun visors if you needed to look somebody deep in the eyes.
I really like those. I'm glad they're here. For the front passenger and then the rear passenger as well. And your glove compartment is pretty deep. Really, seriously, it's deep. It's probably one of the deepest one I've seen in a while. So that's pretty deep. Right in here you have another storage for your caps and stuff, and some change. And then yet another storage in here. You could put something there too. I'm just gonna leave it open. And then here you have two. So one, the deep one, see? Okay, and then once in here, you have your 12-volt power outlet that you can convert to USB. You can plug a USB in there and then charge your phone. And then if you open on this side, because you see the deep one opens from this side and the shallow one opens from that side. And then you can put some, I don't know, money or credit card or whatever you feel you need. You can move the center aisle back and forth if you choose so. So you can put your arm, just added comfort. And
That's pretty much it. Nope, one more thing. You can adjust the tilt and telescopic operation of the steering wheel, which means you can adjust the steering wheel's height and also how far away it is from you. You can do this by locating a lever right under the steering wheel's column and pulling it toward you to do any steering wheel adjustments.
And your emergency brake.
Push on to engage it, push on again to disengage it.
so if you look down here, then you will find your
Hood release.
You can open your hood in here. Here you can open your gas door. See, so if I pull on it, so the gas door is on the driver's side, right there.
So in this
Car, you pull it and it opens up. I really like that. I like the fact that your gas door is locked and you can just open it. That anybody can open it and try to either steal your gasoline or do some goofy business.
Once you open your fuel door and twist loose your fuel cap,
And then once you are refueling, this little hook is meant to put this as you see on the picture, so it doesn't just bang on your car and it doesn't put chips. It's for convenience designed that way. And then once you're done, you can put it right back. That's that. So since we're out, let's take a look at the engine. So the hood just opened up, and then let's get in there. So here is a notch. Move it to the left and your hood opens up, and then your hood prop is right in here, so just grab on it this side and then put it right in that hole there, and then you set. So this is what the 2.5 liter
Nissan Altima's engine,
from 2011 looks like. So take a good glimpse at all the components.
and this is your power steering fluid reservoir, windshield washer fluid reservoir, engine coolant reservoir, radiator cup. This is where your serpentine or drive belt is located. This is your engine oil filler cup, your battery. This is your engine oil dipstick. This is a transmission oil dipstick and also where you add transmission oil. It will require a flathead screwdriver to be removed. Also, the model year for 2011 does not have the transmission drain plug in its pan, which means you would need to remove the transmission pan to change the oil, what can make it for rather a messy and lengthier job. This is a fusible link box. It protects the car should there be an unexpected rise of voltage from the battery that could damage any electrical components in the car's electrical circuits. Unexpected rise in voltage has a potential to start a fire, and the fusible link box protects from it. This is one of the two fuse boxes. It has a diagram of what each fuse does on the other side of the top cover. The other fuse box is inside of the car by the left side of the driver. Just pull by this cover to get inside of the fuse box. There is a diagram of what each fuse does on the other side of this cover. This is your air filter, brake fluid reservoir.
So there you have it. That's the engine.
Now let's hear how does this engine sounds like.
All right.
Also, this Nissan Altima's engine uses a timing chain, not a timing belt. Therefore, complicated timing belt maintenance is not necessary with this engine. In fact, all Nissan Altimas starting from 1993 use timing chains in their engines.
So now let's go ahead and go to the back to see how much space is there. And
I am 5'7" in height, but
even if you were 6 feet tall, if you come up here, look at this. I have
truly a lot of space.
So no doubt that Nissan Altima is just a large sedan. It's plentiful, a lot of space. Here you can put some of your documents if you needed to.
This panel here is reserved for rear seat air conditioning and heater vents in the higher trims.
Here you have this armrest, and here's your cup holder if you wanted to use it. 3 people could probably sit here comfortably, even for a longer travel.
Here we can strap something such as child car seat.
If you wanted to, so you can strap in here too. Your headrest, you can also adjust them if you want to by pressing this button, right? If you will, then this comes up, or you can just pull it up. And your seatbelt is adjustable, of course, based on your height. Right, like every other car pretty much nowadays. You can independently turn on or turn off these lights, handle for holding. If you decide to take your Nissan Altima for rally riding, you won't, but if you would, you have this option to hold on in here before you hit your head or something.
Like I did, that's why I talk like that.
So this is how the back looks like, and it's plenty of space. And this here is the
Child safety lock.
In this position, it is unlocked, but if you push in here, it's locked, which means that whoever tries to get out of here wouldn't be able to. But now it's unlocked, and now you could get out. And actually, as I move this handle, you can see that the mechanism here is moving. But move the child security lock to the right, and now it is not moving anymore. So right on your left, you can push this button to open the trunk. All you have to do is to press it down. You heard? And the trunk just opened up. You can also do this on the key fob if you wanted to. See? So the trunk already opened. If I close it, the key fob on the 2011 version will allow you to open the trunk as well. And then let's take a look at it. So it is huge. This trunk is pretty big. And then right under here you got your
spare tire.
On the right side you got your jack. And if you wanted to, you can lower the seat. You can put some larger stuff in there too if you wanted to. See, it makes this nice surface. And now you have a pretty decent trunk space. Really cool. So when you close those seats back, don't let the seatbelt get in behind there, because it's possible and easy to do. If that happens, no big deal. Come back here, open it up again, and then just grab your seatbelt so it doesn't get stuck, and then close it, and now your seatbelt is available for your passengers. Here's the key. So here is how you get the key out. See that little knob? Yes, you do. See here. Here's the key. So once you get your key out, then this here is something that you can use to open the seats from within inside. See? I press this and I open the seat. Okay? So now you can open your seat within inside. Yeah, and then when you open this seat, then you can easily grab the string from within inside to open the small seat as well. Okay?
So the back seats can be open folded from the cabin and through the trunk.
And then if you choose to use your car key, you can put it in here, turn it this way, and now you can't open the seats.
It's locked and the back seats won't open. But what is it for, you ask? What do I need to lock my back seats for, eh? Well, let's start with the trunk power button. See this button here in the glove compartment? This is your cancel switch to cut off the power to the trunk lid. If you set this button to off, then it won't be possible to open the trunk with the trunk lid release button located on the instrument panel, or the trunk lid button, or using the car's key fob. So, with this switch set to off, locked glove compartment, and locked back seat, the car can still be driven with the key fob, but the driver would not be able to access the content in the trunk. It may come in handy in multiple applications, but the one that comes to mind would be when you have some valuables in your trunk and needed a valet to handle your car. One thing to note though is that if you lock an annoying person in your trunk and then lock the back seat, they could still get out and be even more annoying, as the back seat release pull strap that is accessible from the inside of the trunk bypasses the lock, and the trunk person could suddenly pop out and ask you, "Why? But why?"
Don't do that. Why are you doing this?
So it turns out I was the annoying person. So I will lock myself in the trunk and I'll try to get out. And I'll hope I'll succeed because it's 95 degrees outside with nobody around.
So now, let's test this pulley here. Say that I was put into the trunk
Because I was the annoying person.
and that the trunk up there
Got
closed. So you can see this nicely illuminates. Will illuminate for some time. Nevertheless, I grabbed the pulley and the trunk opens up. And if it wasn't, we also have these in here. So all of those who find yourself here, see, you can free yourself through there if you wanted to.
The back seat release pulleys in the trunk would work even if the back seat is locked with the master key.
Alright, and your speakers nicely show up in here too. I will tell you that the sound quality is pretty good. I think it, the bass, the treble, everything sounds great. No complaints whatsoever when it comes to the sound quality on this car. Interesting feature is if you leave the car ignition on, and as long as the key is in, it's all good. But if you take the key out, it just beeped 3 times to let me know that there's something not right, and you may wonder what is it. And then you come back to your car, you realize, oh, the car is not even off completely.
The car is in accessory position.
The engine is off. So now press the button, the car turns off, and then you can leave the car. There you have it. Now the key fob itself, once you remove the key, is also good for another thing. Right, so here it is.
If for any reason your key fob stops working, could be either because of the dead battery in your key fob, or maybe you dropped it to the water and it stopped working, you can still lock or unlock the door or drive the car with your key fob's battery dead. Let's put it to a test. Let's lock the car.
And now I'm gonna place the key fob out here for a second. So then now you know that I cannot get into the car. See, it doesn't work. But if I have my key in here, then I can still get into the car. And I'm in. Okay? So now that you got inside with your key, you wonder what to do next to start the car. See, if you press your brake and then start, it says no key. So what do? Well, then you get your key fob that now doesn't work
Because its battery died, or maybe you showered with it.
and you just put it in there. Okay? And then the car beeps at you, and now you press your brake and then start the car. There you have it. Little trick that may come in handy. And of course here you can take it out by just grabbing it and it comes right out. And then once you're done, put your key back in your key fob.
Also, see these little white points in here? They are your intelligent key fob guide lights. They light up when you insert your key fob in, but most importantly, they will blink when your key fob battery is low. A really cool feature.
The car also offers keyless entry and keyless locking of the door. So if you get out of your car, you want to lock it, just press this button. You heard? And it's locked now. So you can't get in. But if you come back and your key fob is in your pocket, then all you have to do is to press this button.
One push of the button unlocks only the driver's door. Second push of the button would unlock all of the doors. Third push would lock all the doors.
And you just unlock the car. Now you lock the car, you can come in. Right? And now if your key fob is too far away, you can press this button and nothing's going to happen.
Give me them keys.
Hello.
Let's
Take a look at the key fob being inside. So here's the owner of the car with a key fob in her hand, and I'm going to close the door and try to lock the car with it. Let's see how it works. It is letting you know that you cannot do that because the key fob is inside. There you have it, see? Don't do that. Imagine that you leave the key fob inside of the car, and then you will run out of it thinking that you actually have your keys on you. And then instead of using your key fob, you just use this button here. So there you have it. See, once I press the button here, you can see that it is now locked. So if I will lock the door, watch this.
Look again.
As you saw, the car automatically unlocked the door as soon as you closed it because the door was set to lock position with the key fob inside the car. Keep in mind this only works if your key fob has good batteries.
The seats are adjusted manually, which I prefer as it is faster and it doesn't require power from your car.
So you grab this bar, see when you do,
Your seat moves back and forward.
to adjust your height. And then you also have those two in here. So here, very easy stuff. You just put it back and then your seat reclines, right? And then you can lay down on it. And then you press it down, back. Your seat comes right back up. And then you have this in here. And then here it just pumps. See what it does? It pumps up the bottom. So if you're short, you can raise yourself up or down. Okay?
So these are your 3 seats adjustments. Even though 2011 Nissan Altima 2.5S has the CVT transmission, which stands for Continuously Variable Transmission, it offers manual gear shifting, which given how the CVT transmission works, is quite a unique and great feature to have.
So another thing that could be greatly appreciated is that you can manually change the gears. Right now we are on drive, but if you shift it to the left, see it shows 1M, 1 first gear for manual. So if you accelerate, it will not change that gear. It will just stay on the first gear. Well, good for pulling something, I guess. And also, see the RPM, I'm going 40 miles an hour, right? Or 35 miles an hour, and the RPM is 4,000. It's because in order to change the gear to second, you have to do this. And now it's second. See, and if I push farther, then now it's third. And then if you continue pushing that way, you will get to fourth, fifth, and sixth. So fourth, and I will accelerate a little bit, fifth, and sixth, which is the highest gear. It's a sixth gear transmission.
And if you slow down the car and need to lower the gear, then push the gear selector back.
So it will not let you put to the sixth gear if you are starting
To drive.
because the car wouldn't be able to start, of course, right? So if I slow down now, see, it will change probably to lower gear automatically. So we're at 20 miles an hour and it keeps it at 6. See, but acceleration is so bad right now, right? It accelerates slowly even though I floored it.
It will automatically change it to the first gear if you go with the snail speed or if you stop the car.
Yeah, it changed, see, to first. It had to, right? And then it will stay here unless you change it to second. So 1, 2, so third gear right now, and then 4, 5th, and 6th. Right, let's slow down a little bit. So this is the manual gear change that is available in 2011 Nissan Altima 2.5S. So you can change it to drive and drive safely.
See that little tiny cap right here? Under it hides your transmission shift lock release. You will find it handy if your battery dies and for whatever reason you need the car in neutral. To disable the transmission shift lock release, the ignition switch must be in lock position, which it gets there as soon as you turn off your car. First thing first, apply parking brake or choke the wheels so your car won't just start rolling once you disable transmission shift lock release and shift it to neutral. Next, grab a 3mm flathead screwdriver and remove this cup, but put a rack over the screwdriver's tip so you won't scratch the car's finish while picking the cap out of the slot. Then, put the screwdriver down the slot where the cap was and press down. Now, while pressing down, you can move the gear selector to neutral. If your battery is completely depleted and has no power whatsoever, you can still use the transmission shift lock release, but your steering wheel can get locked. Another great feature worth mentioning is that if you roll down a steep hill, the car will get into engine braking mode. This helps to slow down the car without applying the brakes and could be especially useful when towing a trailer.
So how does it feel to drive this Nissan Altima from 2011 2.5S? It feels great. It is a basic commuter car, it's true, I will say that. But it is also zippy. It drives comfortable, it accelerates well, it holds onto the road well. It is comfortable to my back, comfortable enough, I would say. But is it super comfortable? No. It's not that. It fulfills everything that you would expect from it. Fulfilled all my needs and expectations. I don't have much to complain about it at all about it. It just drives well. It takes a decent amount of gas, you would say, about 29 miles per gallon right now. And here you have this little MPG meter, see? So right now that I took my foot off the gas, it has a good MPG, but if I put it on, then see it drops a little bit to 20, although I'm going a little bit down the hill. So it's a nice car for the money. You can get this car relatively cheaply. It is a large sedan with large trunk, lots of space, lots of legroom and decent comfort, decent acceleration. It is a good car for the money, and this one has been driving for the past 160,000 miles without anything breaking in it. Just keeps on going. So far, so good. So, decent car, nothing to complain about. It is a very, very popular car on the road though. At this time, well, this review is being recorded in 2021, and at this time you can see a lot of these cars. One of the most popular car in the United States at this point in time. And if it's so popular, then I guess it speaks for itself for decent quality, decent comfort, and decent maintenance prices. It's not expensive to maintain this car. So there you have it, Nissan Altima from 2011, 2.5S.
I also would like to add that
This Nissan Altima here, it keeps about 75 miles an hour at 2000 RPM. Just take a look.
I already knew that.